Welcome to part 9 of my video series, A Rabbi Encounters the Universe. This is a section, A Rabbi Encounters God. And today we get to the heart of the issue, why I believe in God. Also, welcome to my Udemy students. This is an additional video that I'm adding to a number of my Udemy classes that deal with religion and philosophy and God. Why do I believe in God? I know that the classical theistic belief in God that's taught by Judaism, by Christianity, by Islam, by the great Abrahamic religions of the West, a theism that there is an all-powerful being that created the universe, that sits outside the universe, that intervenes in the universe, that creates miracles, answers prayers. It's a beautiful story. Do I believe that literally? And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't quite take that story literally. I was very influenced by the writing of the teacher of religion, Karen Armstrong, who wrote many books, including The Case for God. And in there, she differentiates between logos and mythos. Logos is literal scientific truth. Mythos is stories and allegories and metaphors that teach us truths about the universe. And I think this teaches us a truth about the universe, that the universe did not happen simply by random chance. There is some kind of mind or force or consciousness behind the universe. And that's really what I believe. And I'll get into the details of why I believe that in another moment. First, I have to tell you that my religious belief has to be in keeping with the best of modern science. And so I'm going to summarize two fundamental laws of physics, and my religious belief has to be in keeping with these laws of physics. They are the first and second law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics, matter or energy, and according to Einstein, they're interchangeable. Matter, energy in any closed system must be constant. They cannot be created or destroyed. So the amount of matter energy in the universe must be kept constant since the entire universe is a closed system. There's nothing that could put energy into the universe from the outside. The second law of thermodynamics is entropy always increases. Entropy is a measure of randomness, and the amount of randomness, the amount of chaos in the universe, always increases again within a closed system. So the first law of thermodynamics, the amount of matter and energy is constant. The second law of thermodynamics, randomness always increases. So why do I believe in God? And let me begin with the second law of thermodynamics. I look at the Earth. I know the Earth's not a closed system, but I look within the Earth and entropy seems to be decreasing. We're going from chaos to order, which is exactly what the beginning of Genesis says is happening. Going from chaos to order. We go from organic molecules of different kinds to single-cell creatures to multi-celled creatures to plants to animals, eventually to human beings. Greater and greater, what I would call order. Evolution is the opposite of entropy. Entropy is greater and greater disorder. Evolution is greater and greater order, and it's happening on Earth. And how is it happening? Is it happening by random chance? That's what many scientists would say. I realize that the overall entropy of the universe has to be increasing so that as things become more orderly on Earth, they become more disorderly in the sun. So the total sum of entropy is increasing. But here on Earth, something seems to be directing matter to go from less order to more order. There seems to be a force of life on Earth. And that's exactly how my tradition defines God, as that force of life. Now, is this happening by random chance, as many atheists and materialists believe? I think that it's not happening by random chance, that somehow behind the movement from chaos to order that we see going on with the emergence of life on Earth, behind that there has to be some kind of mind, some kind of consciousness and I'm going to call that consciousness God. So where's God? Is God sit outside and manipulate things from outside the universe? That's the classical teaching. The problem with that is that energy cannot be added to the universe or subtracted from the universe. The amount of energy must be constant. So I think God is not outside, but God is literally within the universe. God is within everything. And that is a Kabbalistic idea. The Kabbalah teaches that when God created the universe, it's not God who created a universe outside God's very self. As we've classically learned, it's God very being flowed into everything, flowed into the universe. The universe came into being through emanation and not creation, according to Kabbalah, and God's in everything. Spinoza, the great Jewish philosopher who we kicked out of the community, I think we ought to bring him back in. But Spinoza said that God is in everything, that God equals nature, nature equals God. And of course, Einstein, when asked if he believed in God, said he believed in Spinoza's God, a God that's in nature. Kabbalah goes a bit further than Spinoza does. Spinoza says God's in nature. Kabbalah said God is both beyond but within nature, and God's within everything, and within everything there is this force of life, this force of life that causes this world to go from chaos to order. By the way, when the first chapter of Genesis says, and there was evening, there was morning, one day, 2 days, etc., I think the real meaning of that, the word for evening is erev, which means mixed up, confusion, chaos. The word for morning is libaker, boker. It means to distinguish, distinction, order. And I like to translate the beginning of Genesis, not that there was evening, there was morning, but there was chaos, there was order one day. I see a universe, at least in this one little planet, very far from everything, moving from chaos to order. And I ask the question, did this happen by random chance? Or is there a mind, a will, some sort of reality behind that movement from chaos to order? And I have to believe that there is something behind that movement from chaos to order. Let me give it a name. Let me call it God. God has a will, God has a purpose, and somehow we live in a universe where whenever I see life, I see the presence of God. So I do believe in God. I don't believe in a simplistic version of God that sometimes taught by theistic teachers of old man in the sky who manipulates things from outside. I think a God that works from within everything, from inside, that flowed into everything, a God that's causing this universe to move, or at least here on earth to move, from chaos to order. And that is the reason I believe in God.